The Hurricanes are 0 for 3 on third down. They were best in the country last year, 56% plus. Back, here's Malachi Toney. First down inside the Notre Dame 40. He's not very big, 5'11", about 180. Here he comes again. And another first down inside the 30.
Right at that young freshman and challenging him on his first college snap.
He's covering C.J. Daniels at the bottom of your screen under pressure from Willie Amuasa. And it is caught! Malachi Toney! A touchdown!
By Toney, seeing his quarterback move off the spot. Look at how he flattens the route. Comes back to the ball, secures the catch.
His maternal grandfather played there. Beck throws. Toney again, first down. C.J. Carr said Michigan wasn't that enthusiastic in the recruitment early on
how to play zone defense.
Yeah, short gain there, 4 yards. Beck gets it out quickly. He's got Malachi Toney, and in space, here goes Toney. Gets a block downfield from Keelan Marion.
And that is a question. Can this smaller, they're not small, but smaller defensive front hold up? Great protection. And down the field to the near sideline. Catch is made, and there's that freshman, Malachi Toney. To go after another. They will not take the foot off the gas here. No chance. Toney from a 22. Still on his feet across the 40, and he's just tripped up.
Toney on the near side. Malachi Toney doesn't need much. Incredible acceleration. Just an explosive athlete. Flanking back. And it's a Fleaflicker. Beck launches downfield. Toney's out there. He's got a touchdown, Miami. Trickery.
He comes down, wants to help out and run support. Now he realizes it's too late. The Fleaflicker catches him napping, and
Fletcher is the back. Beck looking to throw. They bring pressure. It's picked up. Caught. Toney off and running. Malachi Toney. He doesn't lose foot races. Fourth down, touchdown as the Canes stretch the lead from 40.
there's that condensed formation look again. And, you know, Toney is just a guy that if you can just get him the football and just give him a chance to be able to show you what he can do after the catch.
Back to the air again. Now taking a shot. Going for Toney, who makes the grab inside the 10. First and goal, Hurricanes. Spot foul, so 2nd and 10. Toney on the screen with a blocker in front. And he frees him. Toney past the 40, inside the 30. Hand fighting with a defender and finally wrestled to the ground at the 9-yard line by Holloway. 73, Inez Cooper blows up Gordon to help spring this explosive run after the catch by Malachi Toney. Dave, he is must-see TV. Not just one of the best freshmen in college football, one of the best wide receivers we've seen. But again, all you need is a field goal here. If you don't get in the end zone, it's not the end of the world if you're the Hurricanes. Just trying to get it down to one score. And it's a jet sweep to Toney. And he's stiff arm, and he is heading for the end zone. Touchdown, Miami! Watch these two. Outstanding block by 9. Outstanding block right here by 87 Bauman. It's Elijah Lofton, 9, setting that edge and the speed and determination. And it's an option pitch. And then a throw by Toney, and it's caught by Daniels. The high school quarterback, Malachi Toney. You've referenced him, Dave. He was a high school quarterback. Pitch it to him and let him go to work. And he finds C.J. Daniels to cut this to a 3-point game.
3 touchdowns in that football game. Back here from the 29. Carson Beck trying to get his offense in gear and finds a familiar target. Malachi Toney with the first down. 2nd and 12. Toney in motion to the top of your screen. Now they give it to him on the jet screen. And that was well read, but he made a miraculous comeback, kept his balance. And Toney has done it again. A little bit closer late in the game. Flintoff the punt from his own 16. Toney on the return to the 30. Malachi Toney on his feet. Toney down to the 40-yard line. love that. Malachi Toney back. Eschews the fair catch. Looking to make a little bit of magic. Malachi magic in full effect. Another spectacular punt return down to the 31-yard line.
Well, I don't know if anybody's been as explosive as Malachi Toney returning a punt in Revelations, but if it wasn't for Jacoby Thomas, he probably takes us for a touchdown.
Backfield right now. Get it out quickly to Toney. Malachi Toney on the run in space. Pushed out of bounds at the 16-yard line by Scotty Edwards. Hurricanes are out of timeouts when they get the football here. This will be Malachi Toney from the 44. Got a block from Marion. Got a wall out there. Malachi, one man to beat. And finally forced out of bounds inside the 10. So the strategy, Roddy, worked of sending back two punt returners. It'll be 1st and goal, Hurricane.
Well, Keelan Marion being out there makes sure that one of these guys is going to have a chance. I would have picked Marion because Malachi Toney, good things happen when he has.
And around. It's Malachi Toney. Throws it back to Carson Beck. He's got a caravan in front. A trick play touchdown for the year.
On the part of Shannon Dawson again. Toney with his background as a quarterback in high school. He's thrown the football before for them. Someone who you always have to account for when it comes to like pass. He knows exactly what these young men need to hear, how to really give them tips to really help them out on the football field.
Next down to Malachi Toney for a first down. They've had a hard time getting him touches for Virginia. One of the most thrilling games we did was that Friday night win against Florida State. And around, Malachi Toney puts his foot in the ground and accelerates. Another first down.
He just looks like he's having fun.
From NC State's 48. Toney, he's a former high school quarterback. There's the evidence, complete. Trader, all the way inside the 5. Malachi Toney does it again, this time as a passer. 1st and goal, Miami.
Well, JoJo Trader is good.
Beck into the end zone. Toney has done it again.
Well, Malachi Toney runs a little out and up, but it's the slight pick by Keelan Marion that throws off the defender.
Only 2 completions, more than 10 yards, Mark.
They got a half to go still for him. Here's Malachi Toney out to the 29-yard line. He'll pick up a first down for the Hurricanes. Fordham making the tackle on the 12-yard pickup.
Slow it down just a little bit to let things develop in front of him is excellent.
Beck on a roll right now. Completes another one. Toney! Touchdown time!
So what do? You just run a little out route, and you take advantage of all the space that Malachi Toney has. The corners run off into the end zone, and the defender's too far off.
Toney wants to throw it. He hit one last week, and he hits one again this week. A bullet underneath the Keelan Marion on the crosser.
How about the arm angle change?
Set to take the direct snap. Beck goes in motion. And he bulldozes his way with a push into the red zone.
It would really help them if they were able to put their foot on the pedal here and try and get another score.
Seam shot. Malachi Toney gets to the sideline.
being pursued and finally bumped out inside the 25-yard line. Isaiah Brown Murray pushed him out at the 24 of Virginia Tech.
And Carson Beck, he's been on it all game long. He's looking at Toney the entire way, and he's able to cross the face of.
So 4th down and short. Carson Beck still in the shotgun, and he's going to throw. And he is going to take a shot. He's going to loft one. Jump ball in the end zone. Malachi Toney. He's got the touchdown.
And he is taking control on this drive.
Play action. Whole shot to the sideline. Oh, what a one-handed catch. Did he hold on? Malachi Toney. He did. What a catch by the freshman.
Let me tell you, this is a heck of a throw as well for him to be able to.
Here's Malachi Toney to take the direct snap again. He's going to roll out. He's going to throw it. Easy pitch and catch, touchdown to Elijah Lofton. Malachi Toney does it again. And that one might have been the easiest throw he's made this year.
Nice job of Elijah Lofton. Just watch how he just kind of floats and floats and floats until the secondary declares, and then he takes off upfield. He's trying to sell the run until the secondary defenders draw up towards the line of scrimmage. You see it right there. And then he just kind of avoids.
Malachi Toney and Mark Fletcher flanking Carson Beck in the backfield. Beck, he's going to float one for Toney. Touchdown! .22-yard score.
You just have to be aware of maybe the route combinations that you get. And you see Kyle Lewis just kind of loosening his alignment, trying to make sure he maintains leverage.
Malachi Toney lines up again to take the direct snap. Shamar Brown to his right. Straight run to the corner. Turns the corner. Malachi Toney, 1st and goal Canes as he cruises out of bounds at the 4.